Hello, cats and kittens. Odewa Jose Yoroshiku. Back in the Crisis Corner, finishing off uh, this week's One Piece reviews with a review of One Piece 869 Under Siege. Great chapter. The stakes is high. This is a really, really good spot that Oda's put the Straw Hats in terms of degree of difficulty in getting out of it. To recap, they're still on the plateau. Capone Beige has went into his strongest form, his strongest defensive form, Big Father. And all of the Allied forces are to shelter inside the Big Father and presumably figure out some kind of a plan. At the same time, Big Mom is still screaming. Now, I want to see this animated because I got to know if this is the same scream. I mean, it can't be. She's crying, I guess. She's, something like that. Because I can't see nobody just going. She even spoke words. She said, I won't forgive the Straw Hats. And then she goes back to screaming and screaming. Anyway, so she's still screaming. But the damage has been done. The rockets were destroyed. There's no way to take her out at this point. So they're going to shelter and figure out a plan. On the way to doing that, let me click through. Oh, yes. My man Katakuri's been putting in work. He made these little, what do you call them, mochis? Some kind of candy that people could stuff in their ears. He did that actually in the last chapter. So people can shield themselves from Big Mom's screams. And this fella, I forget who he is, he actually went after the Tomatabako box. Thinking, I guess he was going to steal it. His plan, I guess, was to steal whatever was inside and replace it with whatever and make off with the goods. You know, it's a famous treasure. So he figured he was going to steal it, not knowing, of course, that it's a bomb. We've been waiting for this bomb to go off for a second. He tries to steal it, gets knocked off of the plateau in the course of trying to steal it. No, he doesn't get knocked off the plateau. The Tomatabako box gets knocked off of the plateau, which I think will factor in to the next chapter. I see a lot of people thinking that the box will detonate at the base of the plateau, maybe, destroying the foundation and maybe toppling it over. It might compromise the foundation and it'll topple over and maybe factor into how they would escape. I'm not sure. But it's falling off of the plateau. We know that much. Anyway, so the crew makes for the castle. Brule, again, my man Katakuri's putting in work. He gets Brule. Gets her off of what's my man's name? Caesar Clown's back. Now, even if there was a mirror inside the castle, they can't use it because Brule's gone. The situation goes from bad to worse. Okay. So again, they're trying to get into the castle, and now the two commanders, Katakuri and Juicer, or whatever her name is. What's her name? Juicer, whatever. Let me see. I want to get these names right. Her name is... You know what? I don't really care. Anyway, the lady that likes to juice people. So they're coming after her with a lot of other sub-commanders, and again, it doesn't look good. The trick here now is that I actually had a very harsh reaction to I have a specific issue with Nami and Chopper and some Usopp when he's there sometimes. Anyway, them being the cowardly trio or whatever. This whole arc, I've been wanting them to get a little bit of shine, but I understand intellectually. They get captured basically. Briefly, they're captured by Juicer and who is it? Is it Mount Dora? No, What's a genie fella? I forget. And some other cat that I can't remember. Anyway, they get captured. Carrot, Nami, and Chopper are momentarily captured. And it seems like it looks bad at that point, which leads to one of the biggest moments of the entire chapter, and one that I'm a little foggy on. So if you want to put a comment in to kind of set me straight, that'd be appreciated. Sanji still like a boss standing on that table, looks down at his pop and motions like in a direction, like go. Either not. This is what I'm thinking. He's either motioning to his father to say, "You can come with us inside the castle." That's one. Okay. And the father glares back at him. I'm not quite sure what that glare is supposed to communicate. Is it just the shame of being told by his supposedly weak son, or being saved by his supposedly weak son? All right, that's one thing. But anyway, whatever that glare is supposed to indicate, I'm not quite sure. But I'm assuming that Sanji is saying, go get inside the castle. Then at the same time, Ichi looks down at his little. They have these little contraptions that bring out their little suits, the little Power Ranger type suits that gives them their, strength or whatever. It gives them the little jutsus or whatever. Which is cool because I thought they were stupid enough to not bring any type of defense into that tea party. I thought they came there completely unarmed, which just blew my mind. I didn't think they were that stupid, and apparently they're not. The only problem that they had is that the Big Mom Pirates got the drop on them and coated them with candy so they couldn't move. They were caught unawares, which is that's the situation. They got caught unawares, but they did have the sense to at least bring their little suits with them. Fine. Now, my thing is this. Sanji says, go into the castle or whatever. Ichi looks down at he looks like he's thinking, like he's in thought, deep thought. Then he looks at Niji and nods, which makes me think that this is a reaction of the brothers, not forget about Pop, that they're basically saying, let's save the Straw Hats that got caught. Now, either did Sanji tell them to do that? Was he motioning saying, go get Nami, Chopper, and Carrot? Or was he saying go into the castle and maybe Sanji was going to go after them himself? I'm not sure. But the result is they do that Power Ranger transformation. They pull a Morphin Time joint, pop on their suits, and you get this boss, just this absolutely boss pinup of the Germa 66. It is just an awesome pick. It is sick. All right. So the Germa 66 come out. All right. Beat down the cats that were holding Nami's Chopper and Carrot, and then they hightail it into the castle. It's like I say, it's very, very cool. It's a very cool sequence. So they get to come into the castle with everybody else, and there's this nice little moment where Sanji catches Nami and they run into the castle, and you get this little small picture of the three-eyed chick, Pudding, and she got the little sweat coming down her face, and she looks kind of, I don't know exactly what's on her mind. Either she's jealous or maybe she's just touched or something, but you can't see her face. All you can see is a little sweat drop coming down the side of her face, and she's like clutching her hand to her mouth. Again, I'm a little fuzzy on that too, but the Germa get the Straw Hats back, and they all go into the castle at this point. Now, here's the dilemma. Katakuri, again putting in his work, plugs up all of the turrets on the cannons. They tried to shoot at Big Mom. It didn't work because somebody blocked it with some candy stuff. Candy wall probably coming from, I guess it was Katakuri, or was it coming from Mount Dora or whatever. So they can't attack at this point. Capone basically explains that his big father form is strong, but it's not strong enough for them to withstand an all-out attack from Big Mom. They have to come up with some kind of plan, otherwise they are dead. If the castle goes down, he goes down, he dies. And when that happens, everybody's expelled from the castle, and they won't last but a couple of minutes up against all the forces that are arrayed against them. So that's their dilemma. What do you do? There's another cool little panel. Let me see. Where, all right, they're looking at the plan. Yeah, this cool little panel where after Capone basically explains all this, and you just see Sanji deep in thought. I think he's going to come up with a plan, which would be great, because this whole year Sanji thing can't end without him showing up big, either in a fight or a plan, which is usually his deal. Come up with something. He's got to be the deciding factor, or a huge factor in them getting out of this. I don't know what he's thinking. The look on his face is it's not intense. It looks kind of solemn. But I think he's going to come up with something. There's not that many things available to him, or not too many avenues available to them to get off of the plateau. If the Tamatabaco box compromises the base of the plateau and it falls over, all right, that might work. But Capone even explained that he's rooted to the spot. His tank form is rooted to the spot because they put down some candy, sticky candy, and he can't move. So they're not mobile. They're sheltered in place, and Big Mom puts a serious hurting on the on the castle, and Capone keels over and is coughing up blood. It looks very, very bad. It looks horrible. She's gonna breach their defenses at some point. Not get inside. If Capone dies, they get expelled, and it'd just be a slaughter. They don't have the manpower to take out all the forces arrayed against them. So Oda put them in, their back is to the wall. And it's going to take a miracle to get out of it. My money is on Sanji. Sanji is going to come up with something. The German 66 soldiers are outside, so they can't. I don't see them coming in to help them. Somebody's going to come up with a plan, and Sanji is usually excellent at coming up with plans. So my money's on Sanji. To no surprise, there's a break next week. There it is. So we can come up with some speculations or whatever to figure out how they're going to get out of this. And tomorrow, actually, is AwesomeCon, as you noted on this channel. We're going to be at the Walter E. Reed Convention Center at table H and Artist Alley at table H 19 and 20. So One Piece fans, come out to AwesomeCon. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Come out to AwesomeCon. You want to talk about the chapters, talk about theories, talk about your favorite Straw Hats, just talk. And then we're going to have a panel at 6 o'clock. Was it 4 o'clock? 6 o'clock? I'll check back with you on that. But it's in my other video. We're going to have a panel, so if you want to show up there, we're going to be talking about Crucial Crisis comics, but we got time to kill and you want to talk some One Piece? Let's do it. So that's my review for 869, Under Siege, awesome chapter, great cliffhanger. Can't wait till the next chapter. Until the next chapter, stay loose. I'm out.